It's going to be an exciting week for sure for the many among you who will get a chance to head east or west, northbound or south to Louisville, Kentucky for the big Mid-America Trucking Show. It's set to convene starting this coming Thursday, March 27th. And as I noted in some previous reporting a week or two back, right on time, the business services firm ATBS is hosting its twice-yearly update on owner-operator client revenue, costs, and income performance with the goal of helping chart the course forward for better profits this year. The ATBS session is set for tomorrow, Tuesday, March 25th. Find a link where you can register to participate live at 5 p.m. Central in the show notes for this Overdrive Radio episode. The session is set against a backdrop of decidedly mixed economic signals of late, with spot markets showing at least some strength, but jitters in the wider economy raising other questions. I'm Todd Dills, your host for this Overdrive Radio edition, where I've got big news that might serve as another part of the broad economic backdrop. We're releasing today on Monday, March 24th, our brand new Partners in Business playbook for owner-operator business, start to finish, for 2025, complete with a total revamp designed with the decidedly mobile professional trucker in mind. You can access it today at overdriveonline.com/PIB. That's overdriveonline.com/PIB for Partners in Business. ATBS is, of course, the co-producer of Overdrive's Partners in Business, focused on training and continuing biz education. We've partnered on the comprehensive resource for owner-operator businesses now for more than 2 decades, and today you'll find a brand new format for all of the content that last year made up the 100-plus page manual and plenty in the way of new updates. For this year's big PIB release, Partners in Business goes from a single download PDF format to a much more dynamic online content library easily accessed on any smartphone, tablet, or laptop or desktop computer. The reorganization of Partners in Business collects valuable tactics and strategies for long-term profitability in 8 categories, charting the journey of owners from startup all the way through to retirement. The first is the starting line section, detailing the choice of business structures, motivating factors for different individual owners, and plenty to think about in terms of business and goal planning, choosing a freight niche, motor carrier to lease to, or how and why to take another route altogether. The equipment and maintenance section pulls on Overdrive and ATBS resources with the accumulated knowledge of so many of our industry participant contributors over the decades to detail the ways to acquire the best equipment at the most favorable terms, down and dirty PM and repair tactics, and much more. The third, business management section, offers a wealth of insights on tracking costs, revenue, and profits, building those profit and loss statements, and paying yourself for better business health analysis and load planning, among many other topics suitable in many cases for both beginners at the start of an ownership career, as well as seasoned veterans in need of a business refresh. The 3 first sections contain more individual pieces within them than the rest, and there's a reason for that. They represent the bedrock foundation on which owners throughout history have built their success. The remaining 5 sections in large part will be pretty self-explanatory in terms of their content, simply reading the section titles from safety and compliance and trucking and other insurance, onto taxes, independence and growth, and the finish line section, retirement in part, how to save and invest early for yourself and the family to better enjoy the fruits of long labor put into your business. The last little bit there was a nod to the title of Part 2 of Overdrive Trucker of the Year, Alan Kitzhaber's Plan for Better Business, authored for Overdrive and which was published right around the time we announced Kitzhaber's big win as Trucker of the Year in January. Kitzhaber's looking ahead to being able to retire quite soon, actually, and that comes after a more than 3-decade career trucking, most of that time as an owner-operator. He'll be parking his truck amongst the rest of you at Matt's this year, and I'm honored to be able to help host him at the show. If you won't be there, keep tuned for much more from him and other longtime owners in our show coverage at overdriveonline.com. Truth be told, all of us here at Overdrive lean on those among you who engage with us for ideas worth sharing. A lot of Partners in Business itself, in fact, made up of the accumulated wisdom of those in the readership who've shared their expertise with us over the years.
Save up some money so you got some down payment. Establish yourself with a good local bank, and find a good company that has stable freight.
But like you said, they're well known among our owner-operators. I've seen them, or I've seen them around for as long as I've been driving. So what I'd seen of their drivers that talked about them, the drivers seemed happy with them.
In that shop for like 4 years before I started trucking, so I kind of learned a lot there about trucks and how to work on them and stuff. So that goes a long way for owning trucks and doing your own maintenance and stuff.
A solid maintenance schedule is, I think, crucial to keeping that truck going. You know, I get my truck in on a regular basis, at least once a month, to have it gone over, grease the driveline and steering column. I have automatic grease that takes care of the rest of it.
As a company driver, you need to be thinking about startup capital and down payment. And I would just say that you need to treat that like you would firewood. Save what you think you might need and then triple it, if not quadruple it. And you'll be thankful that you did.
There's, with 2 dedicated customers, there isn't a whole lot I can do to, if I go chasing something else and I leave one of my dedicated customers in the lurch, so I guess you just cope with it and try to hold the cost down. One of those years with the economy that you have about every 7 or 8 years.
Come at the whole thing from the perspective of a business person, not just, I'm going to buy this truck and I'm going to become a truck driver and run my own truck and just that's it. There's a lot more to it.
But a few examples there from those featured in Overdrive's Trucker of the Year and Small Fleet Champ Award programs in 2024, all of which certainly inform the Partners in Business playbook. As noted, I encourage you to take a run through it all at overdriveonline.com/PIB. That's overdriveonline.com/PIB for Partners in Business. And keep tuned for our MATS coverage later this week and certainly in the weeks to come. If you're out at the show in Louisville, reach out. Love to see you there. On the other side of a break, we'll drop back into a few preview highlights from conversations you heard previously here on Overdrive about plans for the event. Find a link to all of our show preview coverage in the show notes for this podcast. Meantime, here we go.
Your diesel engine works hard. How's Diesel Defender works harder while adding maximum lubricity to protect your engine from corrosion and improve fuel conductivity. Defender uses specialized IDX4 detergent to rapidly clean fuel injectors and prevent the return of harmful deposits. It safely removes water, which helps inhibit microbial growth and leaves only pure fuel to burn. That'll get you a guaranteed 5% increase in fuel economy or more. Want better power and performance? Get How's Diesel Defender.
Find more information about Diesel Defender and all of How's fuel treatments at HOWES, howsproducts.com. Now, quick retread through 3 interviews from the last several weeks where Small Fleet Champ finalists Jamie Hagan, HotelsForTruckers.com proprietor Dan Fuller, and trucker songwriter Tony Justice offered a bit of a preview of what they're expecting at the big show in Louisville this week. Here's Hagan talking about his participation along with past Small Fleet champ Jason Cowan, and many others in the Thursday opening breakfast panel at the show on key issues in the trucking business and how small fleets are addressing them, among other topics. As I noted in our podcast with Hagan from a couple weeks back, the program also features representatives from FMCSA. Hagan, when we talked, wasn't quite sure what all he was going to do to prepare. Studying up on regulatory issues might not be among those activities, he guessed, illustrating that though Hagan may well be a business owner with his eyes on the future, especially when it comes to fuel economy and the latest truck equipment, he's got a lot of the same frustrations as many a truck driver on the road today.
I don't know if me studying up on the regulations is going to help anybody. Not when you have the FMC guys there. You know what I mean? I'll just look at them and say, well, you tell me what it means. Because, it's always up to interpretation. That's the thing I hate the most about our industry, is each individual law enforcement officer gets to interpret the law the way they see fit. You can go to court afterwards if you disagree with how they interpreted it, but that doesn't mean you don't get stopped on the side of the road and put out of service until they deem otherwise. I've had plenty of guys, get tickets for some of the simplest things, and I'm just like, really? It's kind of a loose interpretation of it, but, what are you going to do?
My conversation with Jamie Hagan a few weeks back, you might well recall, also dug in depth into his all-Mac Hellbent Express Small Fleet's installation of the Fresco 9000 Max auxiliary air conditioning unit, battery powered, in one of his Mac anthems. That company is making its Mid-America Trucking Show debut, too, with a 10% off deal for MATS attendees interested in their lithium iron phosphate battery solution for parked air conditioning with Dragonfly Energy. They'll be at booth number 11168. Next up, Dan Fuller and his hotelsfortruckers.com site for discounted hotel bookings and searches that can be filtered to include only those spaces where tractor-trailer parking is effectively accommodated. Fuller's made strides in redeveloping the Hotels for Truckers website for better ease of use, and we'll have news to share at the show, in part from the company's booth in the prominent North Wing lobby location.
We'll be right there near North Lobby, in the North Lobby rather, right near where registration occurs. Look for us. You won't miss us because we got a pretty nice exhibit booth that we're really proud of and can't wait to showcase. And we have a fantastic giveaway plan. So I think any of the listeners, it'll be worth your time to come by and grab our free gift we're giving out. Get signed up for free with Hotels for Truckers. Download the app if you haven't already done so by listening to this. And then we have one of our significant hotel partners that's going to be there. And we've got some exciting news that we can't share yet, but it's going to be, something pretty cool. And we're really excited to share it live at MATS for the truck drivers to take advantage of. Just want to say, our service is built by a truck driver. I've worn many hats in the industry. I've been a company driver. I've been independent. I used to be an owner-operator with my own authority. So this service is literally built, by one of your fellow peers. So we really encourage you to come take a look at it, take it for a test drive, see how we do, and let us know if there's room for improvement, which there always is. But I think you're going to be significantly pleased with how easy and quick it is to take care of your hotel booking needs directly on our new platform. Download the app. It's on iOS. It's on Google Play. It's free. And don't keep overpaying for your hotel stays. Truck drivers know more than anybody, we already have a lot of angles where our pockets are kind of, being depleted from this, that, and the other. So our service really tries to keep more of those, dollars in your pocket versus, having to put them out while you're out on the road working. And the platform is there for them. Again, like I said earlier, anytime, anywhere, for any reason, business or pleasure, you can take advantage of our greatly discounted hotel rates. Again, don't keep overpaying for your hotel room and compare our rates. We have, I don't know if we talked about this, a really cool feature. So on every hotel listing, when the data is available, we do a cross comparison to some of the more popular online travel sites, Booking, Hotels, some of these real popular, well-known sites. And so we're showing you A and B, our price compared to their price, just so you know, we're getting you a good rate. So for anybody listening, call the hotel, check online, check your sites, use our tool, the compare rates function right there on each hotel listing. And I think you're going to see more times than not, because nobody out here can always get you the greatest deal 100% of the time. But we are going to be able to get you the best deal most of the time using our service as opposed to not.
Track back through this moment of my conversation you may have heard last week with the one and only Tony Justice, the trucker-songwriter who made his name as an OTR driver, mining his on-highway experience to craft rock and country music for the trucking audience and anyone else who'll listen. Count me among the fans impressed by the East Tennessee resident's craft, no doubt, going back to his first OTR record, On the Road, released well more than a decade ago now. Here's Justice recounting his first experience at MATS, quite different likely from this year's show where he's the headlining act at the Friday night concert, which he also previews a bit in what follows.
We didn't know anybody. Me and Misty got a hotel room about 50 miles east off of 64, east of Louisville, where the rooms were priced affordably. And we drove into Louisville all 3 days and back to the room once it ended. And we had a suitcase full of my first album, CDs of my first album. And I think we went by every vendor booth in that place. And it took us literally all 3 days to do so, with stopping for a lunch break being about it. And we just started extending our hand, shaking hands. I don't know how many CDs I gave away, but just started the building, trying to make friends and the building relationship process of what we were doing. Pilot was just picking up the CD at that point, but it wasn't on the shelves yet. So we got to, go by the TA Petro, or the TA booth. It wasn't TA Petro then; it was just TA, and we ran into, lo and behold, the guy that one of those names I have a hard time remembering, but he was the buyer for TAs, and handed him his CD, and before we got 2 days into the next week, we got a phone call, them wanting to put CDs in their truck stops, because I told them, Misty went up to him and said, "Hey, Pilot's putting these in the truck stops. Why ain't you guys going to have them? Why ain't you all got them in your truck stops?" And he goes, I don't know. I'll have to look into that. So we handed him a CD and wrote our number down on a piece of paper. And we just basically started just going out and just going and getting after it, wearing trails in the concrete around that place and meeting people and building those relationships, trying to earn people's respect, letting them see our work ethic, learn our personality, our character. And because, relationship building, it takes a lot of time. And that's kind of where we kicked it off. And that was 2012.
You had never been to Matt's before that time?
I never even heard of it. Yeah, I mean, I trucked, but it wasn't social media,
Yeah.
I didn't read magazines a lot, see advertisements for truck shows. So I just trucked, come home and spent my weekends with my family and head back out and do it again, rinse and repeat.
Big plans for the show in particular that you want to get folks ready for?
We're going to have some special moments, but I want to keep it, to just kind of surprise kind of thing. But there's going to be the big patriotic moment in the show. There's going to be a really cool. I've got this chrome and chicken lights kind of costume being made, and hopefully it's going to turn out cool. I haven't seen it yet, so if I plug it in and it looks doinky, then I'm just not going to use it. But I'm praying that it turns out good. We're going to have a really cool opening to the show, kind of really cool rocking deal, and then we'll have a patriotic moment. And toward the end, we're going to do a big tribute to the women. As you know, Misty was diagnosed with breast cancer into 2018 and spent the year 19 battling that. And she came out on the good side of it. Not too much longer after that, a really good friend, Emily, with Roadworks, was diagnosed with breast cancer. She just recently got to ring the bell. Polly Trotter with the Bennett is also a breast cancer survivor. And then there's someone with Bennett who's just recently been diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer that's just beginning the battle. So we want to bring some people up on the stage and do a big tip of our hat to them and dedicate the War Paint song to them. So that's going to be a pretty cool moment. We're looking forward to it.
You can find a link to all of Overdrive's Matt's preview coverage and likewise the brand new Partners in Business comprehensive library for building and maintaining an owner-operator business in the show notes wherever you're listening. Overdrive Radio is on Spotify and SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts and YouTube, Overdrive's Facebook page, and any listening platform, really. Leave us a review there if you're enjoying these, and big thanks in advance for it. Hope to see you at Matt's. Overdrive Radio is a production of Overdrive, the voice of the American trucker. It's edited and produced by me, Todd Dills, with the acoustic guitar and other support of trucker-songwriter Long Haul Paul Marhofer. The theme is Legend of the Snake Man by Marhofer, featuring the guitar work of Travis, the Snake Man himself, Lamech, Terry Two Socks Richardson on bass, keys by Tishomingo Jim Whitehead, and on drums, Andrew Marshall. The podcast is backed up further by Overdrive's own social media coordinator, Jasmine Campbell, senior editor Matt Cole, executive editor Alex Lockie, and video editors Lawson Rudisell and Andrew Gwynn. See you next week.